Can you give a warm content marketing world welcome to Mr. Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
My brother helped me set up a tiny little website, and we called it hitRECord.org. Okay, so now, this is where it gets interesting. As people started coming to this website, which at that point was just a little like message board, but even at that small scale, we noticed that there were some people who just wanted to check out the little things that I had made. And there were some people who just wanted to post about stuff that they had made on their own. But there were some people whose natural tendency was to make things together. And this is what I want to talk about today. How people can form a community online to be creative together. And I don't just mean people sharing things online that they've made on their own. I mean people making things together that they couldn't have made without each other. I'm going to call these 3 pillars of today's internet. And they are the crowd, free culture, and socializing. I want to propose 3 alternatives to these pillars. And I'm not just making these up. These are 3 principles that we've arrived at organically over the years of building and running hitRECord. All right, so first, instead of thinking about the crowd, what if we think about community? Second, instead of thinking about free culture, what if we think about fair compensation? And third, instead of thinking about socializing, what if we think about collaborating? All right, so I'm going to talk about each of these principles and then show you a bit about how we apply them on hitRECord. First, we have community as opposed to the crowd. Okay, so to me, the biggest difference between a community and a crowd is that every member of a community is a unique individual. And so the strength of that community is less about the quantity of the people and more about the quality of their contributions and their interactions. And on hitRECord, we say it all the time. This is not a contest. We really try to emphasize that we're all working together towards a common goal. And one of the most important ways that we do this is with a methodology we call remix. All right, so for those of you not familiar with the term, a remix is when you take something that someone else has done and you make it into something new. For example, say someone posted a simple drawing of a hamburger. All right, well, someone else might take that drawing and turn it into an animation. That would be a little remix. And everything that everyone posts on hitRECord is up for grabs to be remixed. So someone's personal story might be remixed into a script. And other artists like actors or illustrators or animators and musicians, they might build off of that script to produce a finished short film that might appear in a TV show. And this is how a bunch of smaller contributions from different people, they can all add up, right? Okay, so on hitRECord, anytime one of our productions makes money, everyone whose contribution is included in the final version of that production gets some of that money. Now, figuring out what's fair and which artists get how much money, that's no small feat. But we actually have an open collaborative process for that too. And we've been doing it this way for 6 years. We still haven't been sued. And we've paid more than $2 million to contributors in our community from all over the world. But I honestly think that for most of them, it's not about the money. It's the principle. They feel that their time and their effort have been fairly acknowledged and compensated. And I think that's a big part of what allows our community to be so productive together. So, okay, so that's fair compensation. Lastly, as opposed to socializing, I want to talk about collaborating. And I'll give you a few examples. So anyone can issue what we call a creative challenge. For example, maybe it's a writing challenge or a photography challenge. And then writers or photographers can find those challenges and contribute to them. And then you can organize a series of challenges into what we call a project. You can set deadlines and you can send out updates, and as you get contributions you're happy with, you can cross out the challenges that are done. If people all over the world can come together and do more than just connect, if we can actually collaborate to create things that we couldn't have made without each other, when I picture that future, I start to feel optimistic about where we're headed. And not just because of the capabilities of technology, but because of what technology can make us capable of as human beings. Thank you.